Well, YouTube, it's 19 Bigfoot 85 again. I know you're staring at my floor, but that's because I'm bringing you another system review. This is a system I acquired a few months, or it might have been sometime last year, by a friend at in my high school. My friend Jonathan. He had an extra one of these. He got an extra one from his, believe it or not, his girlfriend. And, well, she gave it to him, and now he's giving it to me. It is a Nintendo 64. Released in around, I want to say 97. 96, I was close. It was released by Nintendo in 96. It was a part of the ongoing Bit Wars at a time when they were focusing more on the look of the system, or not the look of the system. I got distracted. But by the power of the system. This is their first 64-bit. They weren't like Sega or Sony. They didn't shoot for a 32-bit system after their 16-bit. They shot for a 64, so they were a little bit ahead of the curve. But at the same time, when the Saturn was out, they had the Saturn, the PlayStation, and those systems out. This was Nintendo opted not to go for a disc-based system, so the graphics on the system were not the best in the world. But a lot of people still went for it because it was Nintendo's last cartridge-based home system. It wasn't Nintendo's last system though to have the quad controller ports on the front. To the top of the system, have your on and off, just a simple switch like on the Super Nintendo. And well, I can't really think of anything else that used it. The Model 3 Genesis, Model 2 Super Nintendo, the Model 2 NES. You have the cartridge port, which is a very smaller connector, believe it or not. Little ventilation ports in front of it. Little Nintendo logo up top. The memory port, which it came with a small memory jumper pack, but for some games like Donkey Kong 64, it came with a memory expansion pack, and I'll show you. See how the red top, the originals they were a black top. Nintendo 64 memory expansion pack. I believe this is a 64 megabyte memory pack. Little cartridge pin out in there for it. You just stick it in there. You come around back. You have the Nintendo installation, maintenance, and service number. I don't really think that number will work anymore because they quit putting this tag on the system, so I'm guessing they didn't do it anymore. But they had it all the way up through the NES, Super Nintendo, although the NES had it on the inside of the flat, but mine doesn't anymore. But in here, on this left side right here, you have the AV port. It's the same AV port you find on the GameCube and the Super Nintendo. So you use this one, and it's just a multi-AV out. Your standard. Okay, I can't find my video. Your little just standard composite video. It does make it look pretty good. On the right you have the AC port, but that's the only thing is the plug. You actually have this big beast of a power adapter right here, but see, the good thing is if you have this on it, if you have this, It's a good thing to have the transformer at the back of the system than it is to have it at the end of the plug. But yeah, it's really good to have this little one because it takes up less space on your power strip or in your wall. But it can be a bit of a pain to pull out of the back of the system. Sometimes it gets stuck. On the bottom of the system, you have a crap ton, literally a crap ton of a pretty much literal crap ton of ventilation ports, and you can see the RF shielding on the bottom. And you have an expansion port right here. And that was for the Nintendo 64 DD, the Duo Disc Drive, which ended up only being released in China, which I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's this is the UPC code of the system, but I don't know. I think there may have used to been some rubber boots here where the security screw holes are now. But I mean, now it kind of hangs on, but the front end just kind of slides around. It's really easy to slide around. It doesn't like lock down with the rubber boots on it. See, it's just that's basically it. This is one of the simplest systems that Nintendo's ever released. Anyway, let's get on to the more of the front. You have the quad controller port, which is good, so you could have good 4-player matches of GoldenEye, Mario Kart 64, one of my favorites. Some other thing which I can't really think of right now. But you know, it's just got a little what's weird is usually Nintendo use like a 7-pin. Most systems use like a 7 or a 9-pin connector, except the 2600. The Atari 5200 used like a dadgum 15-pin connector. This uses a 3-pin connector. It just goes in like that. Just plugs it in the front, and you know, like I said, you have the 4 on the front, so you can just good 4-player matches of Mario Kart, Cruis'n USA, Rush. You know, hold on. Okay, I was getting some games to show you some of the games that are on the system. You know, Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey. I haven't really given this one a shot yet because I'm not that big of a hockey fan. Jet Force Gemini. This is one of my heavier cartridges. Oh, but the graphics in the system, by the way, they're not the best in the world. They were a little pixelated, about as much pixelation as a PlayStation, but a little less than a little more than a Sega Saturn in the same respect. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't show you the controller. This is the controller. Everybody knows the N64 controller. It's got this little 3-prong construction. Your standard Nintendo D-pad. It's a little larger than what people were used to. The red start button right in the middle. Regular B and A buttons is green. The green and blue is B and A. Then you have the C pad, which is like a directional pad, but it was just buttons. Especially used in like Mortal Kombat. The thumbstick. Oh man. The Rumble expansion port and the Z button. But we have some other games. Duke Nukem 0 Hour. Not too fond of it. The controls are confusing. NFL Quarterback Club 2000. It's a football game, which is pretty obvious, but what can you expect from a football game? Wave Race 64, which I actually liked. There's Kawasaki Jet Ski from Blockbuster, but you know, that's pretty much what cartridges look like in there. And have Monster Truck Madness 64. I'm a huge Monster Truck fan. Some of my best favorites in there, you know, Bigfoot, Snakebite, Gravediggers in it. But of course, everybody's favorite, Super Mario Brothers 64. Well, not Super Mario Bros. 64, just Super Mario 64. Quite possibly one of the greatest Mario games of all time. But, you know, there were a lot of accessories released for the Nintendo 64, not as much as some other systems. There was the Hey You Pikachu, which had like a microphone in the game. But there were also dozens and dozens of variations of the system and controller. There was the Donkey Kong 64 Jungle Green system with the yellow banana-ended looking controller. There was an orange controller, a silver system. There was a gold system that was only like, it was like a Toys R Us exclusive, something like that. But anyway, enough of that. Done with the system. I'll maybe be doing some N64 reviews in the future. But for now, that's it from 19Bigfoot85. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that yellow button up there in the corner of the video. Or, no, it would be that corner of the video, I believe. Up there. Where my finger's going. But go ahead and click on that button to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.